say recording done, let's get this video done. Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 29th of October. So what we've got in store then today, let's have a look at the news first. News events coming out on the calendar which could create some volatility for us. So firstly, of course, before I look at anything else there, it's the 29th of October and it's the end of month adjustments most likely would come in. Watch out for the 4 o'clock fix in particular this afternoon, but yeah, just be wary. May get some weird old price action towards the later afternoon as companies will adjust their money. Before that, saying that it isn't as hard as it used to be. Most of it's done, a lot of it's done beforehand these days, but you never know. Anyway, before that, let's have a look at the other numbers coming out today. So if you're following the Swiss, there's the KOF economic barometer coming there at 8 o'clock in just a few minutes time. German GDP out this morning at 9 a.m. It's the prelim, so the first reading, first of two, coming out there at 9 o'clock. That could create some happiness or not for the euro there. GDP in Canada, that's a monthly number. It doesn't create lots of volatility normally, but who knows. Plus their core personal consumption expenditure coming out there at 1:30 as well. Chicago PMI through 245, lesser data, lesser effect on the markets. US dollar treasury currency report, okay, that comes out twice per year. No release time, so we won't be worrying too much about that. It will be what it is. Anyway, other numbers, there we are. I'd be probably watching the German GDP really, mostly out of that, and maybe the US personal consumption expenditure. Right, okay, let's have a look at the currencies. The currencies then today, we have Euro yesterday pitched up in doing what it did here yesterday, running in, ticking off the box of catching the monthly pivot. So statistically I'm happy, but it also gave us a higher low there. We'd already had a higher low back in that was by the 19th, was it 19th of October there, but then it just sort of went pretty sideways from there onwards, even looking like it was going to break over, but pushed up. Is this it? It's not even got up to its daily 50. I thought it would run through into its daily 50, but anyway, it's stalled where it is at the moment. It could be the whole move there, but we'll see. For the moment, at least, it's selling off. Fundamentally, I mean the data yesterday was not particularly massively positive. They did their best not to suggest anything of interest rates, although they did talk about inflation, but they did then say they still believe it's going to get back to on track. So there we are. Bury your head in the sand as much as you like, but and that's what they seem to be doing. Anyway, at the moment we've seen on the 60-minute here a lower high coming through here. The daily pivots below there. That'll be a tester for it. If it gets down to that level, if it bounces off the pivot, well and good. You may continue its upside there, but otherwise, well, could well get back into where it was. So anyway, there's the euro. The pounds have been a bit I don't know, it's a bit more bullish looking at times, and well, yesterday it come back, it's put this sort of more bullish bar in yesterday, a nice upward bar, although same struggle at the moment where it is again, it's sort of has got the legs. So you look at it on this 4-hourly, it's still got lower highs through there. Hasn't really turned the corner so much. On the hourly, perhaps we've got higher lows coming. Yeah, we've definitely got higher lows through there, but now it's putting lower highs in likewise and breaking down towards its daily pivot. It's become bullish, it would need to be breaking this sort of level here for me, and then it starts getting back on the bullish side of things. So I'll be watching that. Otherwise, at the moment, it's a bit bearish, and it's a bit of wait and see. It started this sort of this move up here, and it's whether or not it can actually continue. It's a little bit more to the upside. Still think it's got that sort of slight bias to the upside. Dollar yen, but needs to prove itself. The pound yen, lower highs come through here. You can see it on the dailies. The last couple of days, it's been sort of certainly putting that sort of the dollar's been sold off, and the yen benefiting. The longer term for me of this is to the long side, but it's lower highs in here on the 4 hourly. It's all sort of and well, actually, was trying to get a higher low come in here in the short term, but generally it's lower highs, lower lows at the moment, so still looking weakish. So it's another one of these. If it starts breaking above the 113.72 area, then it becomes a bit more bullish. Above these prior highs, you just see a horizontal level actually there. So above that would be bullish, and well, continuation if it breaks down the lows here. So there we go, simple as that really. So break of that low level would be looking for further downside. Aussie dollar, and the Aussie's been outperforming. It's doing pretty well. Big buy yesterday, pushed up, managed to sell off while the others were pushing up a little bit, but did catch up and push up there. RSI wise, got a bit of divergence going on into these highs, or if it's just, I think it's just about made a new high, but it looks a bit soft where it's sitting at the moment on the 4 hourly chart there. But overall, I say that only this last part of the chart, the rest of it is looking bullish, just in case you think I'm going a little mad, or bit mad. Again, we're sort of between sort of rock and a hard place at the moment, sitting in no man's land. A breakdown of the sort of the daily pivot is starting to come back underneath that 50. It becomes a bit more bearish, and maybe expect more downside. A break of the highs there, well, then it's a continuation sort of move, but there may be opportunities to jump aboard that continuation before it gets to the highs, but I'll watch for a decent reversal. Canadian dollar was soft yesterday in comparison, and it's already moving back up a little bit at the moment. It's really not going particularly well one way or the other since the Bank of Canada there. It's really, well, if anything, it's just consolidating where it is, I suppose. But when you come down the time frames, it's higher lows coming through here. Maybe it will roll over. To be more bullish, it would need to start breaking down this sort of level. At the moment, it's well, I'm saying that, and it's putting a nice red candle in, but at the moment it's been a little bit more bullish, but a break above the 50 would probably start to tick that box a little bit more. 50, 100 even, being a bit more conservative, and I would expect more upside. To be fair, the upside is being slowish relative to the downside. Downside coming in quite quickly when it comes in, but it's a tougher one there on the CAD. There's talk of pumping more oil, which I'll come on to in just a moment. In fact, I'll come on now. Let's do it that way around. So there's talk of OPEC pumping more oil. It's really not affected through into the pricing at the moment. And yesterday, decent reversal bar there, and more bullish bar, a nice hammer into a moving average. It is a question now whether it can push on through these moving averages, whether the OPEC news will sort of filter through the markets. And I mean, it's I can read it, so I should, most others will, but they see more space for more oil in the market. In other words, slowing down this sort of price rally potentially. But for now, well, It's put the high lows, high highs in on this 60-minute time frame. As I say, quite a bit of a swing recovery here. Maybe if it pushes back above that 60-minute 200, it'll become a bit more bullish. But at the moment, it could be preparing itself for further downside. It's just looking at the bigger trend here that's going across the highs. There's a couple of trend lines running across the highs here, somewhere there. Maybe I may have been drawing that a bit unfairly. Maybe if we bring it back to this one here and pop it on there, it's a bit closer. There's a couple to be had. There we go. So anything above that may be a bit more bullish, but at the moment I do wonder if that will roll back a little bit. Gold saw some real volatility yesterday. I'll talk about this quite a lot, and it's just want you guys to be careful when you're trading gold. If you're into gold, I know a lot of people like it moves quite quickly, but it can move too quickly for a lot of people. You get these bars that we saw yesterday there, it just sort of decent sized ranges. That's a big old move kicking in there. Just looking, $18 ranges, enough to take people out, take their stops one way and then go back the way they thought it was going to go. So at the moment, I'm just coming back again. It's still biased towards the upside, a bit of sell off through the Asian session there, coming back a little bit, but yeah, it's a mess when you come down to the shorter time frames here at the moment, but it's still got a bullish bias on the upper time frames. That's the only really real way you can look at it for now. Right, that's that. Let's go through, look at the other markets then. Let's bring in, let's bring in Bitcoin. Just have a look at here. Yesterday Bitcoin managed to put in a bit of a reversal there, and it's looking a bit positive at the moment. It's starting to move back up there. Whether this is really going to hold, we'll see. To me, with that lower high in, I do wonder if it's got more downside, so I'm sort of just a bit more biased on that. Ethereum yesterday put in a new all-time high for Ethereum, managed to push on up there and just put the highs in, looking pretty strong overall. But again, having done that, will we now see a bit of a retracement as profit taking comes in, as it makes new highs? Ripple really struggling still, nowhere near its trend line that I drew on here yesterday, but at some point maybe it'll break through there and get a bit more bullish. But again, it looks a little bit tired with the lower highs that's on this pattern here, and it all just looks a little bit soft. So that's the major threes I'm looking at there. The indices then this morning, we've seen the Hong Kong 300 here get a little bit of a bounce on, and the Nikkei also a little bit of a bounce today. They're not massively bullish, either of them. The Hong Kong looking like it could still break my trend line. This quite bitty, and I don't know, it's just such a bitty market, range bound market. A break of the lows here at around about 28,500 I think I'd be a bit more bearish on, but a very bitty old market. FTSE's opened, and it's open with a downward movement. I was looking at DAX earlier on, was down on the futures. This is certainly selling off at the moment, so this is all aligned, these markets at the moment, with the euro coming off and the currencies are all coming with it at the moment. DAX futures look off as well, and the CAC here all being sold at the moment, so we're seeing selling all the way across. The CAC have been looking a bit more positive. If you trade that, it's been looking more positive, but overall they're all looking a little bearish at the moment. S&Ps, well, of course, yesterday it was pushing on for new highs. It seems to be the way it's going, but selling off at the moment. Looks almost like a gap down on here. S&Ps, the Nasdaq, but we've got the earnings season, and we can get a shove either way on these markets quite quickly later on into the US session. But for now, well, there's these sitting by the highs. I'm saying they look a bit bearish, but they do look a bit soft, and they may just roll back a little bit. But there we are. I think best thing is to watch and wait for those. to show your hand a little bit clearer if you're looking for the short side. Right, that's it for me. I wish you a great day's trading, and I'll catch you on Monday. Take care. Speak to you later.